What if I told you one single mission deep inside enemy territory just changed the balance of power in the Middle East forever? A mission so secret, so dangerous, that only a handful of countries in the world could even attempt it. And yet, it was executed flawlessly. A downed airman trapped behind enemy lines, top intelligence leaders eliminated overnight. And rising tensions that could either lead to peace or full-scale destruction. But here's the real question. Is this the beginning of the end, or just the start of something much bigger? Before we go deeper, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because what you're about to hear, you won't see on mainstream headlines. Paragraph 1. Over the weekend, a military operation took place that experts are already calling historic. This wasn't just another strike or routine mission. Nice was a higher-risk, precision-level operation carried out deep inside Iranian territory, where the stakes were incredibly high and the margin for error was almost zero, according to multiple officials. The mission involved the successful rescue of a downed airman, someone who was stranded far behind enemy lines. Not only that, but it also included strategic strikes that targeted key figures within Iran's military intelligence structure. This kind of operation requires not just military strength, but elite-level intelligence, coordination, and timing. But what makes this operation truly unbelievable is what happened next. Paragraph 2. Reports began to emerge that one of the most powerful intelligence figures within Iran's Revolutionary Guard had been killed in a targeted strike. This wasn't just any official, This was a man considered to be one of the top leaders within the IRGC, effectively the number 2 in command when it came to intelligence operations. He had survived multiple assassination attempts in the past, making him one of the most protected and difficult targets in the region. He was responsible for overseeing operations targeting U.S. forces and allies across the Middle East. And yet, despite all the security, all the protection, he was eliminated. And if that wasn't shocking enough, the timing of this event raises even more questions. It's paragraph 3. At the exact same time these strikes were happening, talks of diplomacy were quietly unfolding behind the scenes. There were discussions about a possible agreement, one that could potentially bring an end to escalating tensions in the region. Some leaders even expressed confidence that a deal could happen sooner than expected. But there was also a warning, a very serious one. If no agreement is reached, the consequences could be devastating, targeting infrastructure, power systems, and critical national assets. This creates a dangerous situation where peace and destruction are both on the table at the same time. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get more complicated, another development surfaced. A new report suggested that a framework to end hostilities had been proposed, reportedly involving multiple countries working together to create a two-tier agreement. This plan aimed to reduce immediate tensions while also building toward a long-term solution. But here's the problem. Even as these diplomatic efforts were being discussed, military actions did not stop. Strikes continued, targets were hit, and pressure kept building. This shows a clear reality. Talks of peace do not always mean peace is near. In fact, sometimes it means the exact opposite. Meanwhile, confirmation came directly from top leadership. A public statement praised the mission that rescued the downed pilot, calling it a bold and perfectly executed operation. It also highlighted the level of cooperation between allies, describing it as unprecedented. This kind of coordination sends a powerful message, not just to enemies, but to the entire world. It shows capability, it shows intent, and most importantly, it shows readiness. But while one side was celebrating, the other side was preparing a response. Shortly after these developments, multiple missile barrages were launched toward Israeli territory. These were not small-scale attacks. Ballistic missiles and drones were used in waves, targeting major areas. In one northern city, the impact caused destruction and loss of life. Drone footage from the aftermath revealed the severity of the damaged buildings destroyed, streets shaken, and civilians affected. This wasn't just retaliation. This was escalation. And the scariest part is, this might not even be the peak yet. Military analysts believe that despite the damage already done, Iran still retains the capability to launch further attacks. Missiles, drones, strategic responses, all still on the table. However, ongoing operations targeting their military infrastructure are making it increasingly difficult for them to respond effectively. This creates a shifting balance where one side gains control, while the other struggles to keep up. But the situation isn't just about the Middle East anymore. It's becoming global. Before we continue, quick pause. If you're finding this breakdown helpful and want more deep dive content like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, check out the link in the description for recommended tools and resources that help support the channel. Alright, now let's get back to the story, because what's happening next could change global alliances forever. This situation has sparked intense discussions about global alliances, especially NATO. Questions are now being raised about unity, commitment, and support among member countries. Some nations have taken steps that suggest hesitation or even refusal to be directly involved. For example, certain countries reportedly restricted access to airspace or limited military cooperation. This has caused frustration and concern among allies, and that raises a very uncomfortable question. Can alliances survive without trust? There is now a growing divide, particularly between Eastern and Western members of NATO. Some Eastern countries are increasing defense efforts and showing strong support. Meanwhile, others are being criticized for lack of action or commitment. This difference in approach could reshape the future of the alliance, because in times of conflict, unity is everything, and without it, the entire structure begins to weaken. But what happens if that unity completely breaks down? Experts warn that this conflict could have long-term consequences far beyond the battlefield. It could redefine alliances, shift global power, and even determine how future conflicts are handled. Wars don't just end when fighting stops. They leave behind changes, sometimes permanent ones. And right now, we're witnessing those changes in real time. But the biggest question still remains. Where does this all lead? So here we are, a historic rescue mission. High-level targets eliminated, missile attacks escalating, diplomacy hanging by a thread, and global alliances being tested like never before. This is not just another conflict. This is a turning point. And what happens next could shape the future of the entire region and possibly the world. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do you think this situation will lead to peace or something much bigger? Stay informed, stay aware. I'll see you in the next video.